money is actually inherently gay. There's you bet your bottom dollar, and then like I paid top dollar for this.
What an interesting way your brain works. So you think everything could be gay because there's a top of the mug and a bottom of the mug.
No, well, it's because there's no phrases for that.
Take my unlimited soda from some restaurant chain I'm at, and I say, hey, would you mind topping me off?
Sure, that's okay.
A homosexual activity to you.
Well, no, because there's no second half to it.
The minute a detective says, let's try to get to the bottom of this, Ben goes, whoa, didn't know we had a gay mystery on our hands.
You might be onto something. Maybe mysteries are also inherently gay. Was I high? I'll let you answer that question. What do you think the answer is?
Yes.
That's correct. That's a great answer.
I'm looking downtown with Betty on me. Tell me what's going on. Tell me what's going on. So listen up to Betty on me. Tell me what's going on. Tell me what's going on.
Oh boy, let's get into the thing. First of all, we're going to be doing our very first mail opening. We've got some packages here. I wonder what's in this.
That's probably the smallest one we got, okay? So if that's not exciting to you...
No, that's not true. The smallest one we got is like a letter. So he's wrong right there, folks.
I was trying to get him pumped up.
There
are some big packages, though. I will, if you want to see that.
Well, big packages. That sounds pretty...
Oh, brother.
But, yeah. You know, I sent him a gay thing on Instagram. It was this gay model doing a really sexy pose for Christmas to promote his OnlyFans. And Emil just wrote back, what is this? And I was like, well, I mean, what do you think it is? Anyway, I'm not here to
I was trying to get to the bottom of it.
Yeah. Wow. Anyway, we're doing our first mail opening. It's going to be exclusively on the benandemilshow.com, so get up there and sign up.
And now the real thing is, look, it's...
Well, and I want to remind everybody to go to the Stock Twits YouTube, because we do our live show there every Friday. We do a great market recap. It's very, very fun. It's very stock market focused.
But
beyond that,
we are... What are we looking at here? December 3rd? It's finally upon us. It's the jolly season. It's the holly season. It's... Christmas is here, and that means it's been almost a year since we did that fateful trip to the Grove.
Yeah, and did a little... I was putting a small strip of paper on my tongue there.
And we wanted to do a little fun...
It took us a long time, but we finally made a T-shirt for it because people kept asking for a Vbrynke license plate T-shirt. So...
You got your Ben and Emil show in the corner here, and we got a very fun little Vbrynke license plate on the back.
Yeah. So for those Vbrynke?
Vbrynke?
Yeah. And we put it on a mug too, just because you guys, we're not one to judge. It took us a year. We're not trying to capitalize off this thing, but enough people were like, I want a Vbrynke shirt or a mug or some shit. So we went ahead and did it just for you.
And we really enjoy the fact that some guy's license plate is now on the merch. It was really hard to explain to some of the merch people and go, they're like, are you going to get in trouble for putting a guy's license plate on a T-shirt?
Let them sue us.
No, it's made up. It's not real. It's fake.
Oh, yeah. That is what we said.
Go get yourself a T-shirt or a mug.
Yeah.
Get your whole family a Christmas present.
Guaranteed this thing stinks. We guarantee that every T-shirt arrives PU Stinky Winky. That's also
fine.
per everyone's requests. Okay, so this episode is going to be very fun and informational, and it's a very cozy episode. So saddle up, get those coffee mugs ready, pour yourself some tea, pour yourself some tea because we're gonna spill it. Pour yourself some tea because I'm gonna come over and I'm just gonna like a
cat,
like a dickhead little cat. I'm just gonna knock it over. You better have that squirt gun ready to squirt me in the snout. Because, we're talking about Enron, of course.
Because it's back, baby. Everything is back. We're just going to keep repeating all of our mistakes.
Let's bring back WorldCom.
Yeah.
Let's bring back
9/11.
9/11. I don't know about that, man. I don't think we want to.
Osama bin Laden, you have an opportunity to do the funniest thing.
Let's get some Wiccans in here and resurrect and communicate with his fucking dead body or his soul or something.
We really are. It really we are stuck in this cycle though. It's very funny because we've probably been doing obviously different iterations of the show for about like 3 years, and it really felt like when we started, it was that everything was popping off. Everything was going crazy. Everyone was on Robinhood trading options. It was the hangover from the pandemic. Crypto was going crazy. I mean, we got to laugh our way through all the NFT bullshit, all of it. And then it seemed like all of the air came out of that.
Yeah.
And we've got our very own Foley artist in the studio today, which is nice. That's us walking our way out of that market. Yeah. It feels so crazy that it came back around again. I really thought we were moving
forward.
Depends who you're talking to. I think people thought when the crypto stuff started, all the air started coming out of that market, that we were moving backward. I think there's probably a good amount of people who think we're moving forward right now.
And, as I was refreshing my memory on Enron and all the things that happened with it, there are a lot of connections to be drawn between then and now. And this happened over 25 years ago. It started in the 90s and ultimately crashed and burned in the early 2000s.
2001 was really, by December 2001, this whole thing was.
I mean, it was 2001 was a rough year.
Well, I mean, we'll get into it, but I genuinely think some of the timing of this is there's a reason why you did not see a larger push into white collar financial crimes. A lot of this culminated in the fall of 2001.
Yeah.
Do you know what happened
later that year?
In the fall of 2001?
Yeah.
And so if the FBI is going to be switching their focus from
these guys,
white collar crimes to terrorism, everything, the entire.
Who was that? There was that one senator who had the missing. He had like a missing intern, and oh god, and they were really grilling him. Gary Condit, and Chandra Levy. Remember that?
No.
You don't remember that? In 2001, Gary Condit was the subject of national news coverage after the disappearance of Chandra Levy, a young woman working as a Washington, D.C. intern originally from Condit's district. I will never forget being at my great-uncle's house she was a...
Ben, holster that thing. My goodness.
She was a beautiful woman. Good for her.
You're looking.
Oh, that's her high school
senior portrait.
Give me a break.
Bring him in, boys. We got him. That is insane.
This sucks.
Holy
fucking sucks.
Shit.
This fucking sucks. I hate this, man. Oh, they discovered her body? I didn't know that.
No, don't try to change the subject. That is Levy in her high school senior portrait in 1994.
Everybody looked older back then. This fucking stinks.
The picture flashed across the screen and he went...
I remember being at my great aunt and uncle's house in a city called Cambria.
A picture of a high school aged woman.
In 2001, I was like 13. I remember we were watching, what's the Asian woman? Connie Chung. Connie Chung was interviewing Gary Condit. And I remember she was asking him some hard-hitting questions. And my Uncle Don, who reminded me a lot of the grandpa on Hey Arnold, said, Way to go, Connie Chung. You fucking tell him. And and then 9/11 happened, and I remember specifically being in high school thinking, boy, I bet that guy Gary Condit is really pumped that this happened because nobody cares about his shit anymore.
You were going, who's gonna help find that pretty lady?
She got found in 2002. What a bummer. Anyway, Jesus.
What a bummer.
All right, so Enron, right?
Yeah, how
right,
did
folks?
you even take that?
Fucking golly.
You good? You need a second?
Yeah, I'm fine. I just hate that I was like, wow, she's a good-looking babe. And then it was like, whatever I said.
We all hate it. Everyone who experienced it hated it.
Yeah, I mean, you were just shut up, okay? Everybody shut up. Lay off me, like Kenneth Lay, who was the founder and CEO of Enron. Hey there, everybody. I don't know about you, but sometimes when I'm sleeping in bed it gets all wonky with the bedroom temperature. It's got a big impact on my sleep quality. And this is true. Sometimes, you wake up, sometimes you're too hot or you're too cold. Well, you know what? I got the perfect thing to recommend for you called Miracle Made. And they got some bed sheets that are inspired by NASA.
That's how you know it's good, all right?
That's how you know it's good.
They're using silver-infused fabrics that are
Wow.
temperature regulating, so you can sleep at the perfect temperature all night long. Doesn't that sound cozy?
Yeah, it does. And you know what's even better? And right up my alley to talk about this, traditional bed sheets, they harbor more bacteria than a dang toilet seat.
I didn't know that.
It can lead to acne, allergies, stuffy noses, and just gross, So Miracle Made offers a whole line of self-cleaning antibacterial bedding such as sheets, pillowcases, and comforters that prevent up to 99.7% of bacteria growth and require up to 3 times less laundry.
My
Yeah,
God.
we got this. You really can't beat it.
They're luxuriously comfortable, right?
That's
Without
right.
the high price tag of other luxury brands, and they feel as nice, if not nicer, than sheets used by some 5-star hotels.
They're
Did you know
also
that?
they're designed for your skin. So stop sleeping on bacteria. That's disgusting. You're not gross. Don't put your head down on a dang toilet seat. Bacteria can clog your pores and cause breakouts and acne. So here's what we want you to do. All right, we want you to go to trymiracle.com/BAES, right? Trymiracle.com/BAES to try Miracle Made sheets today. What have you got to lose? And whatever you're buying from them for yourself, whether you're buying them for yourself or as a gift for a loved one, if you order today, you can save over 40% if you use our promo code BAES at checkout. Plus, when you do that, you're going to get a free 3-piece towel set and save an extra 20%. Miracle is so confident in their product, it's backed with a 30-day money-back guarantee. So if you aren't 100% satisfied, you'll get a full refund.
Upgrade your sleep with Miracle Made. Go to trymiracle.com/BAES and use the code BAES to claim your free 3-piece towel set and save over 40% off. Again, that's trymiracle.com/BAES to treat yourself. Thank you, Miracle Made, for sponsoring this episode.
So this week, there was the @Enron on Twitter and on Instagram was back, and they basically they put out an official press release out of Houston.
Why don't we watch the video?
Yes. I don't know if it'll be copyrighted. Do you think it will be?
I don't think so. They just popped up with "We're back.
Can we
talk?" And everyone collectively rolled their eyes. And
I feel like everybody collectively was pumped on it. There was a person on our
you
subreddit.
think people are pumped on this?
Yes, there was a person on our subreddit who even said, "I'm so excited to buy it. Where can I buy stock in this? Where can I buy?"
Yeah, but didn't he
whatever
pull it
coin.
back?
I have no idea. I didn't read that.
I believe.
Or
You gotta read these things.
well, I think
dude.
they might have commented thereafter. Go ahead and hit play. Let's watch.
He said,
this.
"I was about to invest in Enron again. I was
Yeah.
about to go full nut mode for Enron as they're back, but then I realized I don't even know how to go about investing in them, and it's more than likely just a crypto scam that will be a big reveal, pumpy dumpy in like 6 days."
We'll talk about that.
Yeah.
I don't think that that's what's going to happen. But okay. Go ahead and hit play.
The world is changing faster than ever. Can you feel it? Growth, transformation, rebirth. In the modern world, we must accept change is the only constant. Learn how to adapt, forgive, to allow change to happen in the world and within ourselves. We understand this better than anyone, and
Very
we're
well
here
done.
to lead by example.
I am Enron.
I am Enron.
I am Enron.
We are Enron.
Wow. Very, very, very good.
It feels
stuff.
very, on the heels of the news about the Onion buying InfoWars. It feels
Yeah.
like it's in a very similar vein. That feels like a parody.
Yeah. Well, and then when you go to their website, it does. You don't need to. It's too hard to dig into. But when you go to their website and you look through all their various disclaimers and stuff, there's it specifically points out parody.
Yes, there's
that it is a parody. So, and they're not exactly hiding it either. But again, we'll get to that. But what we really want to talk about is
there's a line in their disclosure and stuff that says the information on the website is First Amendment protected parody, represents performance art, and is for entertainment purposes only.
So Enron, what was it? What happened there? You might have heard about it. Maybe you didn't. Enron, as a little teaser here, it was one of the biggest companies in stock market history.
The seventh biggest.
At one point, it was the seventh biggest publicly traded company. It peaked on August 23rd of 2000,
which is so insane. Seventh, like, is there a way to look up what the seventh biggest company right now is?
Of course, I'm going to take a guess that it is. Just do largest companies by market cap. I'm going to guess. Let's see. Meta, Apple, Google. I'm going to guess
say
Google.
Netflix or something.
No. What did I say? I said Google. Google's number 5. Meta's
Meta.
number 7. Damn.
Which is crazy. That's just
it's
for
at one and a half
context.
trillion.
That's just for context. All of this would be like if Meta all of a sudden
Fully
collapsed, came out that they were fully cooking their books, all this shit.
Yeah.
It's just
Well, actually, I would compare it more to Tesla, and I'll get to why that's the case. But
I'm just going by the rank of the thing.
And so keep in mind, that was back in 2000. The seventh largest company at the time, Enron, was valued at $70 billion. The seventh largest company today is valued at $1.5 trillion.
Yeah.
That is over 20 times bigger. So yeah, things have gotten a lot bigger. But so let's see. Where do we start with this? So Enron started basically in the
1985. It started in 1985 through a merger of two companies. One was an energy company called Internorth. The other one was a utility company, Houston Natural Gas.
And it was Kenneth Lay, this guy Kenneth Lay, no relation to the chip, the potato chip company. This guy Kenneth Lay, he merges these two gas companies, calls it Enron, and he was a big deal because he did something that until he came along, nobody had ever thought to do, which was deregulate the electricity market and then natural gas too. Because at that point,
we can pause it. Are you sure he's deregulating it?
He was a big part of it. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
We don't need to pause it. Yeah. He was a big proponent for it.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I don't think he's deregulating it. I think that's
he helped lobby to get it deregulated.
Yes, I think the 80s and 90s are rife with this. I think starting under even Carter, but obviously the Reagan years, all of this just amplified tenfold. You know, they're deregulating every industry, and it is leading to a lot of bull runs and things. People are like, okay, business is good. And I think it's important to note that's a huge, I think it's often left out, that deregulating all this stuff directly led to.
Yeah. It's the smaller domino that led to the bigger dominoes, for sure.
I would say it's like the biggest domino, but people don't focus on that. They never do when all this stuff goes wrong. They talk about like corporate greed. Like, why do these people have to be like this? And it's like, why can't you guys rein in? Like, this is what happens.
Yeah.
You guys remove all the guardrails and they go, oh, great. We can just turn our fucking company into a casino. Let's let this fucking shit roll, baby.
And at the heart of all of this is,
without doing this, all of these things, all of these tricks they want to pull just would not work.
Yeah.
The entire thing hinges on them deregulating this stuff and letting them play with the futures market and all this stuff.
Yeah. So you might be asking, what is the big deal about deregulating the electricity market and the natural gas market? Well, up until this point, it was a pretty stable thing. You had it was verticalized. You had the energy or the electricity suppliers, distributors, all that stuff under like one central thing. Electricity prices were, for the most part, very stable, very reliable. There were no issues with like rolling blackouts, especially here in a place like California. And then Enron comes along and goes, whoa, this is anti-competitive. We should deregulate the shit out of this so that there can be a competitive marketplace for energy, right? And with that, created this entire new business that until that point had not existed, wherein Enron can create a marketplace.
Become the market for trading utilities.
trading utilities. So like as prices fluctuate, they can capitalize on it, but also, as we would later find out, they can kind of
manipulate it.
put their thumbs on the
Hugely. I
scales.
mean,
big time.
So much so that they're telling states that do have enough energy that they actually don't, and they have to buy it from out of state. And if you want to buy it from out of state, we're going to charge you 5 times as much. It's fucking crazy.
It's bananas. So up until about 1998, the company was pretty solid, doing pretty well. They outperformed slightly. They were, for all intents and purposes, a legitimate enterprise. But then from about 1998 to 2000, Enron starts showing absolutely insane growth in their finances, with like revenues more than doubled from $40 billion in 1999 to $100 billion in 2000. And at the time, it was touted as this new business model, right? It was just like, oh my God, Enron is, if you think about today how Tesla is seen as on the bleeding edge, creating these new things, these entirely new things with robots and AI and robo-taxis. It was essentially the same thing with Enron.
They had a lot of like cutting edge ideas.
Yes.
Enron Online. Did you see that? Have you ever seen the Enron Online commercial?
I don't think I saw that one.
See if you can bring up the Enron Online commercial. But I mean, yeah, you're talking. They're developing online trading platforms. They had Enron broadband systems.
Right.
Which they
we'll cover that. So one of the biggest things is Kenneth Lay, as they're starting this new venture with trading energy prices. He hires this guy called was it Jeff Skilling?
Yeah,
Jeff
Jeffrey
Skilling. And who's the other guy? Jeff Skilling and Andrew Fastow. Excuse me. So Jeff Skilling gets Enron approved for what's called mark-to-market accounting. And that's huge for them because mark-to-market accounting enabled them to do what they would go on to do, which is flub and bullshit their finances.
Yeah, this was approved by the SEC.
Yeah. So mark-to-market accounting just means like, hey, if I'm up, just to make it a corollary to the stock market, if I'm up today on paper, like $50,000, I can mark that as like, hey, I made $50,000. Even if tomorrow that stock that I still hold drops, I still have it in my books that I made $50,000 that day.
Yeah, it's a legitimate
It is a legitimate,
system, but it's much more confusing. And if you're not careful, it can lead to someone like Enron basically saying, hey, we basically decide what our profits are.
Yeah.
It meant they were able to do insane things. If they would get someone came to them, they had a contract for $200 million over a decade.
Mm-hmm.
They'd be like, well, we made $200 million this month.
Yeah.
And they were just breaking all the fucking rules.
Doing that constantly.
Even if that contract got canceled, they'd say, well, we still made $200 million this month.
Yeah.
It's just, this entire thing is like the just insane accounting practice.
Hey guys, isn't it funny how the people we love are often the hardest to shop for during
Raise
the
your
holidays?
hand if you're having trouble finding stuff to get your family members.
We both have
for
our
the
hands up.
holiday season. Yeah.
Well, luckily, there's one gift that everyone on your list is sure to enjoy. An Aura digital picture frame is named the #1 by Wirecutter. Aura frames make it incredibly easy to share unlimited photos and videos directly from your phone to the frame. It's a great little digital frame, right? Instead of just relegating yourself to one picture like the old days, no. With Aura frames, you can have it show all kinds of, it's so cool.
The
it
nice
feels
thing
like the
about
future.
this, we've both given them out to people. They love them.
That's exactly
it makes
right.
an incredible gift.
Yeah. Incredible gift for mom, grandma, grandpa, dad, brother,
Aunt,
sister, aunt, uncle, cousin, son, daughter.
Step family, entire step family.
Entire step families. With my mom's, we programmed it with all kinds of cute, good, wholesome pictures of me and my brothers. And then you got to throw in a couple of silly, goofy ones in there for when she's there and all of a sudden it pops up on there and I can control it remotely. So
yeah, that's the nice thing. Mix the classics. You got your graduation, you got your birthdays, but then
your bris.
You do your goofy ones.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So save on the perfect gift by visiting auraframes.com to get $35 off Aura's best-selling Carver matte frames by using our promo code BAES at checkout. That's AURA frames.com. Promo code BAES, BAES. This deal is exclusive to our listeners, so get yours now in time for the holidays. Terms and conditions apply. Yes. And one of my favorites was this guy. He was probably the one who made out the best. His name is Lou Pie.
Oh, he made out like a fucking bandit.
Yeah.
Man. Him and just like hanging out with strippers, just
going to strip clubs
absolutely
literally every night.
Yeah.
And he ran one of the trading parts of the company. And so the story goes, he loved
because they
strippers.
spin off their own trading firm. They're not just Enron anymore. They're Enron Capital and Trade or Enron Finance.
Yeah, and to be clear, they had all sorts of different little subsidiaries, and this guy Lou Pie was one of them. Just as a quick aside for how fucking crazy some of these people. I mean, these guys who were running the company, all these executives were degenerates and gamblers.
Well, I think that's the sad thing. Like, there was a real legitimate business here.
Sure.
It's hard to even fathom. Like, all they wanted to do was just juice their revenue numbers, make the stock go higher and higher and higher. There was other companies similar to them who are like, great, we're getting like 2 to 3% growth here year over year. This is pretty good. We're growing.
Yeah.
They're trying to like go 200%, 300%. It's insane.
And that's because most of the executives, most of their compensation was in the form of stocks and stock packages, stock rewards. And sometimes a lot of the times that's tied to the performance of the stock. So if you can get the stock up, then you get that big fat package. It just becomes this self-suck circle. And so, yeah, my favorite is this Lou Pie guy because he ran one of the trading parts and he loved strippers so much he ended up getting one pregnant and divorcing his wife.
You actually don't have to love strippers that much to get them pregnant.
That's very true. Yeah. That's very true. But he loved strippers. He made the most money out of everybody. I think he ended up cashing out. His trading arm of the company ended up failing, and he just said, "Fuck it, I'm out." He sold like $350 million worth of stock or something.
Moved to
Colorado.
Pieced out.
Yeah, pieced out. Divorced his wife. Married a stripper girlfriend who had his child. And yeah, like we said, they all these guys had tons of stock. They would do everything they could to juice the numbers every quarter to pump the stock so that they can just make themselves richer and richer. And they had, throughout all of this, they had incredibly good PR. They were all about being on the cutting, bleeding edge, having new ideas and being innovators and taking risks.
Even though all of those ideas were failures.
Yes.
There was like, even the PR, you'd read, they would do these articles that would be like, it's the most innovative company in the world.
Yeah.
And they point to all these things they're trying that were complete duds. Like moving into India and trying to
Nobody had ever touched India before. It was too risky. Not for Enron.
But they failed. It was a complete fucking failure.
Yeah, they did this India Dabhol power plant. They lost $1 billion on it because, as it turns out, India at the time couldn't pay for the power. But the executives who were behind this India power plant, they got huge bonuses on it because the projected income for this power plant was on the books at the time. And it was like, hey, good job. You guys did the thing that you set out to do. We're going to reward you handsomely, even though the project got abandoned and it lost $1 billion.
Yeah, but because of tricky accounting.
Exactly. That's exactly right, man.
You can do whatever you want.
You can do whatever the fuck
we made
you want.
$120 million that day,
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah.
Easy money. Easy come, easy go.
So this culture within the company made it so that it was not only encouraged, but like you were almost incentivized to outdo yourself and come up with new and exciting ideas. They even bet on the weather. They created. Do you remember reading about that?
Mm-mm.
They created a weather. That was that commercial. If you want to pull that up, if they put out a fucking commercial for it.
Year for the company. Due to unpredictable weather, earnings are down. Welcome, analysts. But as everyone knows, you can't predict the weather. There's nothing you can do about it.
Enron created a new market to protect revenue against unfavorable weather.
Jesus Christ.
So they literally created a market where you could bet on the weather. That just speaks to how totally unhinged, totally out of control it got.
They were pretty early on with the video on demand stuff, though.
Yes, that is one thing.
Enron broadband systems worked with Blockbuster Video.
Yeah, let's watch that commercial. They tried their
develop
hand.
the first video on demand.
Yes, so they partnered with Blockbuster to do streaming, but it went beyond that because, well, let's let the commercial speak for itself.
From 7 p.m. to 7 a.m., we're paying for bandwidth that we are not using.
Why?
We're paying for something we're not using?
Why do we accept things the way they are? If we have a problem, other people do too. There's our market.
Why can't we sell the bandwidth to other companies?
Make it a commodity, like a pork belly.
Enron has created the market to buy and sell bandwidth like a commodity.
Why?
So at the time, in the
Why?
late 90s, that was probably so fucking awesome. Like, oh shit, yeah, that does make sense. When everybody in America is asleep, we've got all this unused internet. Why don't we sell it like a fucking commodity?
Which I do believe they lost like $100 million on this whole thing.
It fucking floundered.
Yeah.
Their partnership with Blockbuster to do video on demand failed. The deal collapsed. But they booked $53 million in earnings,
baby,
on it because of
all
their
we do
accounting.
is win.
It became like a cult. Like within the company, you should see some of these intercompany videos. They're out there. You don't have to just take my word for it or go watch some of them. But it's a lot like Scientology, where they've got the leaders of the company at the podium talking about how innovative they're being, bragging about the share price. And it reminds me of like things today like Polymarket, where you can just bet on the outcome of anything. It wouldn't surprise me, actually, if Polymarket within a year started making it so that you could bet on the weather. If not already, I'm sure that anyone can actually create a wager for what they.
I hope so, brother.
I'd bet on California just being fucking 72 degrees consistently through this winter. What a lovely time. Okay. All right. Sure. Laugh at me for that. No, fuck you. And so then this
also, all the while, I do want to point out, I don't know, maybe you're going to get to it, but they're also using all these special purpose vehicles, these separate legal entities they're creating, which again,
I've got that.
A lot of companies are using in the right way. It's a completely normal practice, but they're just transferring all kinds of debt.
Oh yeah.
I mean, every time they have debt, they're like, oh, I don't know, that's part of some entity that sure we're legally on the hook for, but is not necessarily ours.
That was Andy Fastow, who was the CFO. The issue with Enron was that they were losing money year after year after year, but somehow they would always show profits. And part of the way that they did that was Andy Fastow would set up companies, just dummy little companies, to offload toxic assets. So he sets them like, and he gave them all sorts of cute names. Jedi was one.
Oh my God,
I like Chuco. So he would set up these companies. They would buy the toxic assets from Enron, thereby booking Enron some revenue, some profits. And then the assets are hidden and off the books. And then for himself, he skims a little bit off the top.
Of course, you got it.
To the tune of, it ended up being like $40 million. But he set up this big one called LJM and LJM. I think it was LJM 1 and 2. He set it up as a fund that would do business with Enron exclusively. He goes out, he pitches it to a ton of banks, dozens of banks. They all invested. I think they each invested like $2 million or something like that. Hey, everybody. It's time to thank one of our favorite sponsors of the show. It's MooMoo. We all know MooMoo. We all love MooMoo. We love Glenn. We love everything associated with MooMoo. It's a great app. It's an investing app. Whether you're a new trader or investor or a seasoned professional like myself and Emil here, MooMoo is the app for you. And let me tell you why. It's got everything that you need and then some. If you want charting, they got it. If you want paper trading, where you can just tinker around before actually getting your feet wet with the real thing, they got it. You want news, you want the most up-to-date stuff as it hits the news wires for free, they got it. If you want options scanning software that's up to the minute, where you can see unusual options trades and flows going in, they got it. anything you can think of, baby, MooMoo's got you covered. I use it. I love it. I use it for all kinds of things, namely the options flows and the news, because news is expensive out there and it's hard to come by. Not with not the case when it comes to MooMoo. I got it right there at my fingertips. Great to use. You're gonna enjoy the zero commissions on your trades, on options, ETFs, stocks. Brother, it's just too good. You got to get on MooMoo. And not only that, but they're going to give you some great incentives to sign up. Emil, why don't you go ahead and tell them about it?
Look, if that's not enough, we got these great incentives. The big one, 8.1% APY cash sweep. When you enroll, you're getting 8.1% APY for 3 months on uninvested cash. We love that. Up to 15 free stocks. As always, that's deposit $100 to get 5 free stocks. Incredible. And then the big one, transfer in bonus, 1.5% cash rewards, up to $300.
There you have it, folks. Don't know what you're waiting for, so go ahead and check out the link in our description and get started with MooMoo today.
Well, I mean, a lot of throughout this whole thing, a lot of the banks are juicing this with.
Oh, everybody's taking a cut.
Even it's hard to tell when you say like from 98 to 2001. I think it's even way before that. I think even in, maybe 93, 94, it's basically insolvent and just getting pumped up with like weird loans from banks. You can look back at all the stuff. JP Morgan's all over it. Citibank. Everyone is just like
everybody.
Just the getting was so good when they fucking removed all the guardrails.
It was a failure. That's what's it's so interesting because, and again, it's like a cult because everybody played their role in it. Everybody was either willfully ignorant or just didn't understand.
But it's so much easier to understand than a cult.
Sure.
Why is everyone buying in? Because we're getting fucking rich as hell.
We're getting paid. The lawyers were collecting their fees. The bankers were collecting their, were making money. The accounting firm, it was at the time the oldest, most reputable accounting firm in the country. They ended up going under because of this. Because everybody's getting their piece. Nobody wants to spoil.
He's talking about Arthur Anderson.
Yeah. That's the accounting firm. Nobody wanted to spoil it. Everybody wanted to just, hey, as long as the music is still going, who am I to get up from?
Why would you? There were a couple of whistleblowers, but the stories are so nothing comes of it because they go, hey, I kind of looked into the books and it's like, this shit does not make any fucking sense. And they'll go, oh, you know what? We'll have the lawyers take a look at it. And then the lawyers just send an email and be like, oh no, we looked into it. It's all fine. And then they go, oh, okay. I'm still getting paid. Everything's good.
And also to be fair, like just in the case of Andy Fastow doing this accounting trick of offloading toxic assets into these like just unrelated companies, the board of directors approved these things. But it would later come out that the board of directors just didn't understand exactly what was going on here. So there was not only...
It is very difficult. There
was a lot of negligence involved as well as greed. It's
purposefully confusing.
Yes.
I remember when I first started trying to understand Enron, I was like, what actually happened? You're like, oh, it's so fucking boring.
Yes. I think it's fascinating.
But you're like, I'm learning about accounting principles just to understand what the fuck is going on.
Yeah.
It's most white collar crime is very boring, but
they're
doing legal and accounting tricks and they're just,
just moving things around.
Yeah.
Moving things around, shuffling things on and off the books, booking profits in questionable ways.
And then they're making so much money that people are asking legitimate questions and everyone's going, shut the fuck up.
Yeah. And actually, so it all kind of, they point out to this one conference call in April of 2001 when the CEO, Jeff Skilling, called an analyst an asshole. Because that's how these conference calls work, right?
Dude, this is so funny.
Yeah. Company reports their quarterly earnings, and then usually they do a conference call where analysts who are employed by investment banks get to ask questions of the CEO, of the CFO, about details regarding the quarter that they just posted. And this one analyst asked Jeff Skilling, hey, can you give us a little bit more color on your income statement? Because it's very vague and opaque and hard to kind of discern. How exactly are you guys making money? Because it doesn't make sense that you guys can just keep fucking beating every single time to the extent that you're beating. And Jeff Skilling calls him an asshole.
You're the only financial institution that can't produce a balance sheet or a cash flow statement with their earnings.
Thank you very much. We appreciate
it.
Asshole.
And it fully shakes up Wall Street. And again, it's really funny because nowadays Elon Musk does this kind of shit fucking daily. He trashes people who doubt Tesla, be it analysts or other billionaires, whoever. And nobody fucking.
There was an article too that in early 2001 that helped lead to the demise because it was called Is Enron Overpriced? And it was basically
Bethany McLean.
Yes, and it was this whole thing about how does it actually make money? No one knows. And there was some analyst who made a joke when she called. He said, well, let me know if you can figure it out because we don't know either. But why are we going to ask questions? Everything is good, right?
Yes.
And it just has this, like, describing what Enron does isn't easy because what it does is mind-numbingly complex. CEO Jeff Skilling calls Enron a logistics company that ties together supply and demand for a given commodity and figures out what the most cost-effective way to transport that commodity to its destination. Enron also uses derivatives. And it just goes into how, like, no one actually knows how it's making any money. It's just this big... Turns out to be a Ponzi scheme.
Toward the end, one of the many tricks that they magically pulled out of their hat was the California energy market. And I remember living through this and not understanding what was going on because we had what were called rolling blackouts back then. But they were occurring in winter.
And to be fair, I don't think at the time they knew what was going on outside of Enron. I think it wasn't until all this stuff came out that they were like, that's what was fucking happening.
Yes. The governor at the time, Gray Davis, got blamed for it. And they ended up actually recalling him. And that's when Arnold Schwarzenegger became the governor. But what they did, in a nutshell, was they turned the California energy market into a casino. They had these energy traders at Enron who could see the map of the power grid in the Southwest. And they would just freely move around, export some power here, import it here, just shuffling the cards around, moving it all around, and manipulating the price of electricity, manipulating the price of energy as they did it. So they would fuck with the energy prices by just moving it in and out of different points along the grid. They would even call power plants and be like, hey, we need you to shut down for a day. Come up with whatever excuse you need. And the power plants would just be like, okay, sure, we'll call it routine maintenance.
Because California was producing a surplus. They had way more energy than they needed.
Exactly.
It was by a lot, by quite a bit.
So not only were they doing this, but then because they knew that, hey, we're going to be manipulating these prices, we know then that the price of electricity for whatever time period is going to skyrocket. Because energy was a tradable market, they were then able to, if they were able to predict the future, essentially, of the price of electricity and capitalize on it because they could bet on it. So if they knew, if we make this phone call to this power company, it's going to make power prices skyrocket 400%. Well, if you know that something's going to skyrocket 400% and you can place some trades before that happens, you can literally print money. And that is exactly what they did. They made billions of dollars doing exactly that. And of course, when they got confronted with it, they were like, what?
Wait, what?
What are you talking about? We didn't do that.
You guys are crazy.
That would be unethical. No. Us, Enron, we did not.
I did not hit her. It's not true. It's bullshit. I did not hit her. I did not.
So yeah, they made huge money betting on the very movements that they were causing in the electricity market. And it's just so fucking evil because these power outages, these rolling blackouts caused car accidents. They caused people to get stuck in elevators. There were wildfires that happened. It was just
it led to a deficit in the California budget.
Oh yeah, we were over by like
getting overcharged for energy.
That's exactly right.
It's so insane.
I gotta go with an boo with that because Jesus H. So things start to collapse when more and more people start to sniff. They start to stink. Hey, this is a poopy diaper. No, Enron, imagine, is a toddler wearing a diaper. And everybody's talking about, man, your baby never poops. It's just got this clean diaper.
Well, you have to also picture this baby's making you a lot of money.
This baby's making you a ton of money. And you never have to change his diaper.
It's a baby model. It's on all the
Pampers.
All the Pampers
yeah.
things. It's doing
the perfect
commercials.
And you go, this is the perfect baby. It literally
It's
never
the Gerber
poops.
baby.
It's the Gerber baby.
It prints money.
But importantly, it never shits its diaper.
And people are writing articles like, why does the baby's butt never stink?
Yeah, this baby's butt never stinks.
And everyone's like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, shut the fuck up. Stop asking those questions, especially Enron. They're like, don't ask about our diaper.
The baby is like, leave my diaper alone.
Yeah,
Don't.
but little do we know, that thing is filling up with poop. It is to the brim with
The
poop and
baby's
pee.
ass is just covered in shit.
Oh, the baby's ass is raw. I mean, I feel bad for the mommy or daddy who's got to open that thing and change it.
It's not going to be your regular diaper change. This is going to be a full.
Right. But people start to smell that diaper from a distance. They're like, something's going on. There's no way. This is too good to be true. One of them is this guy named Jim Chanos. He actually was probably the first person to look at their annual filings and start to realize, okay, this diaper is really actually stinky and not so clean. Funny enough, Jim Chanos has been ringing the bell on Tesla for a long time. He's been one of their biggest haters because he sees a lot of corollaries to Tesla where it's like quarter after quarter, they somehow pull the rabbit out of their hat with these.
Come on, you saw those robots.
Well, it's because Tesla, and
That's going to be cool.
It's kind of an open secret now that they do all kinds of accounting tricks. And then you've got the other red flags of multiple CFOs coming and going, all sorts of issues, and it's just like they can do no wrong, and the stock is at all-time highs, and the CEO is bragging about how something stinks. Hey, everybody. We want to share a little bit of an insight into what it's like to run and start a small business, right? When we started this little thing, we had no idea what we were doing.
No idea.
But when it came time for us to start selling stuff on our website, we knew exactly where to go. We knew exactly what we were going to do. We were going to go to Shopify.com to get started.
And they made it incredibly easy.
They made it incredibly easy. We knew that Shopify was the all-in-one e-commerce platform that could do everything that we needed it to do for us so that we could just focus on what we do best, which is making good stuff that y'all love to see, right?
We also get to try it at a pretty nice trial price of $1 a month.
That's
which
exactly
is going
right.
to be open to everybody. But
That's exactly
we
right.
got to try it before we even committed to it long term.
Everybody's out there using Shopify, man. If somebody's got an online business, I'm pretty sure they're probably using Shopify. Nobody does selling better than them. They are the home of the #1 checkout on the planet. That's Earth I'm talking about. And the not-so-secret with Shop Pay, it boosts conversions up to 50%, meaning way fewer carts are going abandoned and way more sales are going cha-ching, cha-ching. You know what I mean? Because sometimes people, they do be leaving their shopping carts abandoned. Now with Shopify, you can help finalize them sales. Businesses that sell more sell on Shopify. So upgrade your business and get the same checkout that we use because we're the professionals, right?
Incredibly easy. Two dummies like us could set up products and get them up there.
That's exactly right, man. So sign up for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/BAES. All lowercase, go to shopify.com/BAES to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/BAES. That's
I mean, we've been talking about that forever.
Yeah. And then so you have abruptly Jeff Skilling, the CEO, retires.
He says he wants to spend more time with his family.
I got to go spend more time with my kids.
I mean, just get out of here.
Yeah. Which is very unusual because normally when a CEO retires, it is way, way planned out in advance. You've got a whole PR campaign lined up, ready to go. You've got a successor. He resigns. It shakes things up. Everybody's like, whoa, what the fuck is going on there?
I want to go to more of my son's ball games.
Yeah, yeah, fucking right, dude. Nobody wants to do that, especially if your kid sucks at baseball. And Kenneth Lay, the founder, takes over as CEO. And around that time, this woman, Sharon Watkins, she's an executive at Enron. She starts to realize she works for this Fastow guy who's been doing all this, the CFO doing all this accounting tricks. She realizes that Fastow has been guaranteeing all of this sketchy shit that he's doing with Enron stock. So he's basically got all this toxic shit that he's backing up with the good full faith and credit of Enron stock. But guess what happens when Enron stock starts to fail? Well, all that toxic shit that they're holding that's being backed up by Enron stock, it starts to become more and more susceptible to Big Stinky Diaper. And that's exactly what happens. So Sharon, recognizing this, is like, oh my God, we are leveraged to the tits with our own stock as collateral. The stock is failing. We're fucked. She sends an anonymous letter to Kenneth Lay. Reporters, investors, analysts, everybody starts to catch on. And then the house of cards is all but collapsed. And within months, they're filing for bankruptcy. And I think just a year, maybe a year, I can't remember. It's either a year or two after the stock peaked at a little over $90 a share. It was trading for 12 cents. They fucked so many people. And meanwhile, executives are cashing out. Jeff Skilling is cashing out. Ken Lay is cashing out. They make tens of millions, in some cases, hundreds of millions of dollars.
Dude, Ken Lay is complaining about how much money he lost.
Oh, my net worth actually dropped.
Yeah, it's just fucking insane.
The workers were encouraged to max out their 401ks. They were encouraged to buy as much stock as they could. There was a case I remember about one of the energy companies that they absorbed was like Portland Energy Company or something, and they talked to this one lineman. At the time, at its peak, he had like $380,000 worth of Enron stock in his 401k. And by the time everything was over, he held it to the very bottom, $1,200.
Yeah,
Brutal.
those people sued, and I think they won a settlement, but it was like, I think it ended up amounting to like $3,000 per person.
Yeah. Shareholders filed a $40 billion lawsuit for which they were eventually partially compensated $7.2 billion.
But that's what always happens in all these things. It's always shareholders who have rights,
and
not the people that get, like, nothing comes of the California thing. Nothing comes of people who get their retirement savings wiped out, who, were working for this company. It's always about shareholder protections.
That's how
all these things shake out.
My favorite quote from Jeff Skilling, there was an interview he did, I think with PBS or someone in the early 90s, talking specifically about deregulating the energy market. He said, quote, "We are the good guys. We are on the side of angels." And I just love that. Because these guys, I mean, that's the thing, is with these things, they were drinking their own Kool-Aid, and they really, it's like you start cheating and then it becomes unstoppable. You have to just keep cheating and maintaining the illusion, and you just start to believe. I think these guys really did believe their own bullshit, and they thought that they were doing good by their shareholders and by, their employees by trying to keep it propped up for as long as possible, but
no, I think they're literal demons, and when we took the guardrails off, they just they can't help themselves.
They really can't help themselves.
It's such a shame. These things are in place. Everything's humming along, but always there's this chatter of people being like, "Let's remove these regulations. You're making it so we can't all get rich."
Yeah, the marketplace.
Why are you doing this?
Yeah,
and then they get it taken out, and it just always leads to a fucking meltdown.
Yeah, greed. At its core, I mean, you look at these guys and if you were to go back into the 90s, you would think, oh man, these are really smart businessmen. These are really reputable people. They are doing right by their shareholders, by their customers, by everybody. They know what they're doing. No, these were fucking gambling addict degenerates. And what scares me is that that's not something that just went away with the downfall of a company like this. It still persists today. These same kind of psychopaths are running other companies. Michael Saylor might be, I mean, the way that he talks about MicroStrategy and just, it's the same kind of financial engineering that you're like, okay, I guess I'm just too stupid to understand it. But I can just see it being the case where in a couple of years, if that were to collapse, we'd be going, in hindsight, yeah, it was just one big Ponzi scheme. He's selling shares of his company to buy more Bitcoin. Well, what happens when Bitcoin drops? The whole thing drops out from underneath him. Or Tesla.
I mean, also, Bitcoin is, from people I respect very much, say it's just the world's biggest Ponzi scheme.
Yes.
There's nothing there.
Yeah, it is held up by the belief that everybody should own it, I guess. It's just
it's held up by the belief that it's only going to go up. So
Yes.
you're only going to make money.
Yeah. It's bananas. And it's really sad. It's really wild.
I mean, and while all of this is unfolding, they're repealing the Glass-Steagall Act, leading to the financial meltdown of 2008. They're never going to learn. It's not like that's been reinstated or anything. It's all just going to be, we're just going to keep doing this.
And part of the reason why Enron was such a big deal is so many things failed. The lawyers failed their obligations. The accounting firm failed their obligations. The SEC failed their obligations. The analysts at these big banks failed because they were just believing everything that the company was saying. They were issuing strong buy ratings and giving the price ever higher target prices. It was just a colossal pool of greed.
Yeah, people
that everybody was participating.
They're like they're manic, and when it happened in the lead up to 2008 too. People trying to sound the alarm, and people going, "Shut the fuck up! We're making money."
What are you doing? So what if we're packaging shit and then repackaging it, sprinkling a little diarrhea on top, farting on it, selling that, and then selling a bunch of those, packaging that all together into a diaper and sprinkling a little bit of poop on that? And selling that.
Just don't get left holding the bag.
Yeah,
That's the whole
just
thing.
don't get left holding that bag of poop. Highly recommend that everybody go watch Margin Call. It is such a good movie.
It's not about Enron. It's about it's like the Lehman Brothers.
Yeah. Have you seen it?
Mm-hmm.
It's so good. It's a comfort movie of mine.
A comfort movie. It's so stressful.
It doesn't stress me out.
Literally, guys like locked in an office building, going like, "Jesus Christ, what the fuck are we gonna do?" It's so stressful.
It's a comfort movie for me because I understand it. So I mean, it's not that hard to understand. But I like the dialogue. I like the.
It's a good movie.
It's the slow escalation of like, oh my God, what's gonna happen? It's like, I don't know. I really like it.
I like it.
Yeah.
But comfort movie and liking it.
Yeah.
Is different.
I guess it's because
the bad guys win.
It's comforting.
They just completely fuck the world over.
It's comforting in that I'm like, damn, I'm so glad that ain't me. At least I don't have to do that.
Oh, that's what we have different definitions of comfort movies.
Well, I mean, I've got my definition of comfort movie is all encompassing. There's other movies that are like Paddington 2. So comfy.
Ben watched 12 Years a Slave and was like, "Damn, this is comforting." Thank God that is not me.
Haven't seen it. But Jesus Christ. So anyway, all that's to say is we got a new Enron, right?
They're back.
They are saying that they are going to they've got a vision to save the global energy crisis, to solve the global energy crisis, and that they are acknowledging and righting the company's wrongs. But so here's the thing. It's all these two guys, Connor Gaydos and Peter McIndoe, and they are the kids behind Birds Aren't Real, if you guys know that. And I'm just going off of public information here. If anybody remembers Birds Aren't Real, it was this whole
annoying thing from like 2017.
Yeah.
It was to play on the whole misinformation thing of like, birds aren't real, they're surveillance thing.
It went from like a fun infographic to a full-blown
them getting interviewed on 60 Minutes.
Yeah.
About how like, wow, isn't that so clever?
So all that's to say, they are the guys behind this, but it remains to be seen exactly what's going to happen with this. And if you click that, but they've done a ton of trademarks, including, let's scroll down.
They've done some crypto trademarks.
Yeah. So there is probably going to be some crypto. They've got Enron the game, Enron We're Back Ask Why, Enron Power, Mobile, Enron Cares, Enron Nuclear.
Nuclear we can trust. Nuclear you can trust.
Fusion, energy, mining, I am Enron, Enron Go. So they're
I like this. Women of Enron, men of Enron.
Love that.
Enron for everyone.
They currently all the website is they've just got a shop where you can buy like $120 hoodie and like which I think is great because I mean, hey, buddy, in the spirit of the original. It is very much
Enron.
In the spirit of the original Enron.
It's already got people asking, what does Enron do?
Yeah.
How does Enron make money?
Yeah. So I really hope that this was informative for you guys there, so that you can impress your friends with your thorough and comprehensive knowledge of what Enron was, the people behind it, and why it collapsed. And just
Did you? I want to point out the
what
the oh god,
I love all their old commercials where the song was this why because they're like their theme was ask why aren't we making money off of broadband we don't use? Why aren't we gambling on the fucking weather? Why aren't we milking every last dollar we can out of this system by creating and exploiting our very own shitty loopholes? I'm just waiting for my esteemed colleague.
I can't find it, but basically, basically, people pointed out that I mean, of course, it feels silly to even do, but that they're using on they have quotes from employees, and they're like, well, these are obviously stock images of people, and then
on the new Enron site,
the Enron account got cheeky and replied to it of like, well, our sales manager is also a model, and we support his career outside of Enron. It's just like. Oh, here it is. Someone wrote, can we talk about how you're straight up lying on your website? And they've got...
Are these comments on their Instagram?
No, this is... Someone retweeted the we're back, can we talk? And said, can we talk about how you're straight up lying on your website? And they've got Malik, director of sales. Like many of my peers in the Enron family, I was skeptical at first. Now, not only do I... Whatever. But then they've got the results from Shutterstock.com of who Malik actually is, and then... Enron shows up and says, Malik is a valued member of the Enron team and also has a successful modeling career, which we support.
Yeah, it's, I mean, at the very least, this is going to be entertaining, I hope, with what happens here. But all that's to say, I don't think Enron is actually back. I think that,
of course not.
It's probably just a fun thing, obviously, because these guys are behind it. But speaking of scammy things, I wanted to share. Let's talk a little bit about crypto, real fast. This guy thinks that
which Enron might be. It could. Be
I'm sure that they come out with a coin. By the way, quick prediction.
I mean, they'd be stupid not to. Why wouldn't you fucking rip everyone off?
Yeah, quick prediction.
People will be happy to get ripped off by Enron.
That's the thing is everybody. One of the biggest scams of our lifetime, and people are like falling over themselves to invest in it because they think that before it falls, it'll first go up again. Hilarious.
Yeah, we should restart Lehman Brothers. We should start just.
Oh, that'd be a great idea.
Yeah,
Bear Stearns.
Sure, and we'll give everyone cheap, shitty mortgages, and we'll just run it all fucking back.
Yeah, let's run it all back, baby.
But this time it'll all be on the blockchain.
Yeah.
And your mortgage is now a smart contract.
Yeah, dickhead coin. It'll all be traded under dickhead coin. Speaking of coins, though, who really created Bitcoin? Huh? This gentleman has a theory for who created Bitcoin.
This is cool to finally find out.
You know who's behind Bitcoin? Putin.
Holy shit!
It's a Ruski conspiracy to fuck up the American economy and the world. It's a long-range plan he started 7-8 years ago. He's going to see the demise of the Western financial world while he's still the head of Russia. And he's already hacked into the brains of all the morons. You.
I love that he's saying all this while wearing a glowy Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer sweater. This guy's a moron. No, absolutely did not. Putin did not create it.
Do you remember the viral tweet about like the CIA creating Bitcoin and what Satoshi Nakamoto meant?
Oh, yeah, because if you translate it or something, what was it?
I don't know.
Do you remember? It was like digital.
It just reminded me because of that.
Well, it's really funny since we mentioned dog with ski mask coin. We mentioned this one coin called dog with ski mask, and I don't know how the hell the people behind the current.
I guess they're saying that Satoshi Nakamoto means CIA. Satoshi, knowledge, wisdom, intelligent. Nakamoto, central, origin. It's like central intelligence.
That's funny. Well, if the CIA created it, I mean, I don't know what the goal was I really don't. But the dog with ski mask people absolutely flooded our shit on Twitter. Our mentions are, and I was like, if you guys are gonna, because they were like, even the Ben and Emil show are talking about dog with ski mask. And I'm like, hey, if you guys are going to shill for your thing, at least,
give us some money.
I said, watch our shit. but
I'll take money.
I
don't need a bunch of dog with
ski mask
people.
I think we didn't even talk about Joe Biden pardoning Hunter Biden. That's funny.
Is it crazy? I don't give a shit.
Yeah, I kind of don't care either.
I think there's people. It's annoying seeing people who were very upset about like
Trump.
Yeah, being like this is actually cool because like Trump, blah blah blah. And it's just like shut the fuck up. But
I hope he celebrates with some crack.
The whole Hunter thing seemed like number one. I don't think Joe Biden should be doing this. He should be pardoning other people. But the whole charges that he got caught on are things that no other person besides the president's son would be even hauled into. Lying on a gun application, it's just like I just don't.
Yeah, give me a fucking break, dude.
Let that man do crack with hookers. I think he deserves.
And listen to Fleet Foxes. I mean, that's his thing.
He's been through a lot.
I would be charmed as hell by him.
I don't.
Smoking crack. I don't even know how to smoke crack, man.
I bet you could figure it out.
I guess you like put it into the thing and hold it up and light the thing and smoke the crack.
You're
wow, I
pretty much
figured
on
it
your
out.
way there.
Holy shit. I wanted to make a prediction because Tuah coin comes out on I think tomorrow, right? I think it's going to mark a temporary top.
Tomorrow for us, yesterday for you.
As I was reading about this,
it's going to what?
Mark a top. You gonna make it gay?
No. Things have tops, things have bottoms. That's just the way the world works.
That is true.
What goes down must come up.
That's true. What's got a bottom usually has a top, unless it's a coffee mug. Any whomst. I think that as I was reading about all this Enron shit, it just made me feel like, wow, this is really relevant to a lot of things today, like MicroStrategy, like Tesla. A lot of questionable financial engineering things going on that's too complicated to really understand.
Oh, dude, of course, this feels like the great.
It just feels like
great realization of deregulation. You have do whatever you want.
So, it feels like history is definitely rhyming, not necessarily repeating, but rhyming for sure. And I do think though that as Bitcoin continues to struggle with breaking 100,000 per Bitcoin, this Tuah thing might. It just feels like topping action, you know? Like, and also, plus you bought it. I mean, that's got to...
I did my duty.
That's got to count for something.
Bitcoin will never hit 100,000.
Yeah.
I bought it 98. It's never going to touch it.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon, especially with how much Michael Saylor is buying and it still isn't doing anything.
Because who's got more power? My rotten luck? Or Michael Saylor.
There might be someone out there who is actively selling into him, thereby giving him a much bigger bag that he might end up having to hold for quite a while. Because, I don't know. Sometimes when it peaks, it takes a long time for it to come back to that previous high. But that might not stop him from continuing to sell MicroStrategy shares and buy more Bitcoin.
I also would say, just wait until Donald Trump enters the White House and starts shaking stuff up.
We'll see.
The crypto likes everything they're talking about.
That is true. Well, speaking of that, guys, we're going to have a lot to talk about tomorrow. There's a couple companies that I'm going to cover on the Weekend Rip. So again, go to Stock Twits on YouTube. We really appreciate your support there because it is our other show and we really like doing it for you. And anyway, what do you think about Enron? Do you like it? Do you want it?
Oh, wait, we got to do a quick comment of the week for everybody.
Oh, almost forgot about the comment of the week. All right. What have we got here?
We just got one. This is a good one. And it's a good question. I'm surprised it's taken this long to ask. This is from ADUM789.
I think it's Adam.
Well, it says ADUM to me.
Yeah.
789.
Okay. All right.
Do you think they wear pants under those tables?
What do you think?
What do you think?
What do you think? Whatever. It's Schrodinger's table. Whatever it is, but also isn't. We are and also aren't, depending on whether or not you see it or something. Right? We're wearing pants. Or are we? Are we?
No.
No, we're not.
What do you? How do you picture it?
How do you picture it?
Let us know how you picture it.
Let us know how you picture it. Thanks for tuning in this week, guys.
We're heading over to the bonus, and that's at BenandEmilShow.com.
We got a lot to talk. Oh, I got a really cute story about the dog. We got a whole bunch of shit. We're going to talk about the PhD lady who everybody's
I got to talk
yelling
about the PhD lady.
at,
I'm so pissed
threatening her with things. Let's see. What else is there? Brad Pitt being an abusive man. Kanye West's kids made a shitty music video, and I'm real pissed off about it.
It really does. It did piss me off. I got to not get pissed off about it. All right. We'll see you in there.
We'll see you in the bonus. All right. Thanks for bye.